Snediker. It's Snediker Druckmiller. I own Southernmost Tattoo, and I own Gulfstream Fishing. You know when the universe just lays out the cards and paves the way? It's kind of what happened in both situations. My mom got married in Key West. I came down here and crashed her wedding. I was like, wow, this place is magical. And I came back one more time, I think, between then and when I actually moved here in 2007. My dream was to stop working for the airline I was working for and do my own thing. And I didn't know what my own thing was. I just knew I needed to do my thing. So I ended up working on party boats part-time, and I was like, I could do this. I can own my own party boat. And I found one, and it just happened to be from Key West. Moved the boat back here from where I purchased it and moved here in 2007. You know, you take people out there on vacation, they want to see the ocean, they want to catch some fish. We're not catching massive fish, we're catching grunts and porgies and yellowtail snapper, you know. They want to say I came to Key West and I went fishing, and that's what I give them. I got my first tattoo when I believe I was 17, in a tattoo shop in Oceanside, New York, and it was a bad tattoo. It was terrible. But there was something about that atmosphere that just stuck with me. So a few years later, I covered the bad tattoo, went to LA on a business trip, got another tattoo, started traveling around. Everywhere I went, I was like, I want another one. I want another one. When I got here in 2007, there were no tattoo shops in Key West. They were all on Stock Island. I went up to Stock Island, got another tattoo. And then it kind of started. Then they allowed tattooing in Key West, and there's 2 shops, one of which is mine. I didn't own that at the time. I went in there, I was like, it's kind of dirty in here. Remember, the universe guides you? I didn't do any of this on my own. Other people made decisions and treated me a certain way that led me in a different direction. And if I could break those pieces down, there's a perfect roadmap to my success. And I say that humbly. I don't really brag about success much, but I think that's the first time I've ever said that out loud. But I was treated poorly, and I said, I'm going to go back to the other shop that was a little dirty. And I went in there. There was 2 artists in there that were super nice. And I met the owner of the shop. He was in his late 70s, super sweet guy. And the place was dusty. And there was papers and disorganized and, you know, a glass display cabinet with 1 product left in it, dust. And I just felt that I needed to step in. So I offered the owner, why don't you let me come in here when the shop is closed and clean it for you? And he didn't understand why anybody in their right mind would want to offer that service for free. I had time on my hands. My boat was running fine, everything was going, I was free all day, and I decided that I was going to go into this tattoo shop as a complete stranger and clean it, and that's what I did. And then he offered me a job, which I didn't need, and I took it. And he couldn't pay me, but that environment was so intriguing to me, from the artist's perspective of how they could turn a photograph of your grandmother sitting in a lawn chair into a cartoon character pushing a lawnmower was just fascinating to me. Like, everything about the industry was just, I was in it. And I needed to know everything from start to finish. I needed to know how to greet a customer. I needed to know what makes the customer happy. I needed to know, you know, how to get their idea on paper for the artist. I needed to know how the artist perceived their image. I needed to know everything. And I stayed there 12, 14 hours a day. And then when the shop closed, I would clean and I would paint and rearrange furniture and make things more aesthetically pleasing to the people that were walking in the door. It was a lot of work, worth it, but it was a lot of work. Eventually, the owner of the shop offered me to purchase the shop from him because he said that without me, it was going to go back to the way it was. And that was a hard decision. But again, the universe leads you, and things just unfolded for me that made it possible for me to buy the shop. And I did, and I was scared. And that fear is what drove me. Like, I can do this, I know I can do this. I don't tattoo, I don't know how to tattoo. I didn't even know if I wanted to tattoo. My passion was everything else around except the physical act of tattooing. I wanted to change things. I wanted to change the way people viewed tattooing. I wanted to change the way people were treated in tattoo shops. I wanted people to walk in and feel like they were at home. And not at home with their angry husband where they're yelling at each other. I wanted them to come to a happy place and be treated with respect and listened to. And, you know, not every tattoo is a happy moment. You know, people come in because they lost somebody close to them, or they you know, just had a very tragic experience that they want to, you know, feel that pain to get over that trauma. And it's therapy, you know, and you listen to these stories all day, and people deserve to be heard. And I wasn't heard when I went to go get a tattoo on many occasions. I didn't like that feeling, so I knew that that's what needed to be different. And I wanted to make sure that people felt that when they came into my space. This is my house. This is my family here. All these artists that we work with every day, 10, 12 hours a day, that's family. You spend more time with them than you do in your own house, that's family. I would definitely say this is the most solid team I've ever had. We have no issues right now. I had an artist that maybe wasn't so great personality-wise, but he brought me a gem, And then I had another artist that I love him, but he wasn't that great of an artist. He brought me somebody, and I held on to them tight. You got to take the trash out when the trash needs to be taken out or it stinks. And then you hold on to what's great and treat them right and respect them and love them and, treat them like family, and they're going to stick with you. I have a team right now that I know I could call at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, hey, I need you. And they're not going to ask me why. They're going to come. If you just want to get a tattoo, it doesn't matter where you go. If you want an experience that you remember, where you're treated fairly, your price is fair, and I'm not saying that other places don't do that, but I know what I do. I know that people walk in the door, they're treated with respect. Our systems are flawless. You get text reminders, you get email reminders, you communicate with your artist beforehand. Everything's digital, your paperwork is smooth, and we don't take deposits. We hold a credit card. Why do I need to hold your money? If you gave me your word that you're coming, I trust that you're coming. 2 girls don't show up for a $100 tattoo. 2 $800 tattoos walk in 5 minutes later, which I wouldn't have had time for if these 2 girls had showed up. So it all works out. I didn't just walk into a tattoo shop one day and be like, bam, this is how it's going to be. I had to look at everything that wasn't working first, and I learned from a lot of people that have done the mistakes for me already. I took a 12-week course, and I'd say the first 3 weeks, I'm like, we do that already. Whatever, we do that already. Yeah, we do that. I know all this already. And then one day they hit on some stuff, and I was like, wait a second, why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing that? Whatever works for you to get you to tattoo is what you need to do. If it's sitting at home for 12 hours a day and watching YouTube videos and learning how to tattoo yourself, do it. If it's sitting in a shop for free under an experienced artist that wants to teach you, do it. If you want to, I don't know, watch Ink Master all day, I don't know. It's just, do what you have to do to make it work for you. Because I was not a conventional learner. I actually just saw my 2nd grade report card, and the teacher's comment said, she doesn't pay attention and doesn't apply herself. And my mom's response was, I know, we've tried everything. They gave up on me in 2nd grade, so I wasn't a conventional learner. You could not have sat me down in a classroom or under someone and taught me how to run a business. I had to do it and figure it out myself. And if that's what it takes to get you to tattoo, that's what you got to do. I'm up probably until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll work. Just sit there pecking away at the computer, looking stuff up, buying things, selling things, making sure my Instagram's right, my Facebook's right, or the bank account's right. Do we need to go here to this tattoo convention, or do we need to go to this boat show? There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and I do a lot of that at night. I'm a late sleeper. I'm a late riser. I hate getting out of bed. I would love for a bigger space here. I have managed to pack in 9 artists. I like this area. It's a little away from the bars, so you don't get the stumbling in, I want a tattoo. No, you don't. You need to go. I think we're far enough away from the party scene at this end of the street that, if you really want a tattoo, you're going to make the effort to come down this far. Pick your artist. Know a little bit about who you're going to get before you walk in the door. And all this is available on our website. There's video bios, there's pictures of their work. You don't want to pick a traditional tattoo artist for a portrait. It's not going to come out right. I've traveled around, I go to other tattoo shops, and I see what they're doing, and I'm like, I like that. These little screens back here behind me. I went to a shop in Las Vegas, and they have these big, giant touch screen portfolios, and I'm like, oh, I don't have space for that. How could I do that? So I go the mini version, but I do what I do, and I do it well. And my motto has always been, just because you can tattoo doesn't mean you can run a business. Maybe you can, but you're not going to do it as good as me, because I have 100% focus on the industry. I'd like to invite everybody to come down to Southernmost Tattoo and check us out, see how we're different. If you have any suggestions to make things better, let us know. make an appointment, get a tattoo, get a piercing, buy some t-shirts and sweatshirts, and I think I'll have candles soon. I want to sell candles. I want to sell candles.